Hello, my name is Dr. Nathan Hudson, and I am the director of the Forage and Flourish Contemporary Music Festival, and by extension, the Forage and Flourish Community Music Project. If this is your first time watching the Community Music Project, let me just tell you a little bit about what we are. We are a series of 5 videos, with each video featuring a brand new piece of music. But not just any piece of music. These are pieces of music that you, the community, can learn, perform, and engage with or without any prior musical experience. Now, for the Community Music Project, the composers who are writing these new pieces are myself, as well as composer Kevin Day and Dr. Alex Temple. After you watch each episode, we encourage you to then perform this music yourself, record yourself doing it, and then share that with us on our Facebook page. We want to see the great music that you come up with. Support for the Forage and Flourish Community Music Project is provided by the Fulton County Board of Commissioners through their Virtual Arts Initiative grant, as well as the City of Alpharetta. We're so thankful for their support, and without it, this would not be possible. For today's episode, we're going to be featuring a brand new piece of music from composer Kevin Day. Let's learn a little bit more about Kevin. So Kevin is originally from Texas, but he now resides here in Georgia as he is completing a master's degree at the University of Georgia. His experience, though, is well beyond that of a student. Kevin has been the recipient of numerous awards and prizes. His music is performed all over the world, and he is an important and innovative voice in new music today. The title of the piece that Kevin wrote for the Community Music Project is "The Sun Will Shine Again." It's a highly evocative title, and it's absolutely relevant given the current state of things. So let's take a look at the program note that Kevin wrote for "The Sun Will Shine Again." "The Sun Will Shine Again" is an accessible work for solo piano that is meant to portray calmness and a feeling of hope to the listener. I wrote this piano song as a work to relieve my own anxiety, given all that has happened this year, as a way to tell myself that everything will be okay and that the clouds will soon roll away. It's beautiful, and it's important for us to realize that music has this power, and that the act of creating, whether it be writing or performing or studying music, can help alleviate some of these clouds. It's a way to move forward. That's really special, and I cannot wait to share this brand new piece by Kevin Day with you all today. As I was reading Kevin's program note, there's one thing you might have noticed. This is a work for the piano. The previous 3 installments of the Community Music Project have been a bit more open with what you could use to make the sound. Sometimes you had to build something, like in Again and Again and Once Again, or we had to use our voice, whether through singing, as in float, or through speaking, as in stutter proclamation. In Kevin's piece, though, we get to actually deal with pitches directly. And while the work is written for solo piano, it can be performed by a variety of instruments. And even if you have no musical experience, there are still some really interesting ways, really powerful ways that you can engage with this piece. So before I say anything else, let's take a listen to what the composer has to say. Kevin was kind enough to record a very short video for us where he explains just a bit more about his new work, "The Sun Will Shine Again." So let's take a listen.
Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Day and I'm the composer of the piece "The Sun Will Shine Again" for solo piano. This work was commissioned by Nathan Hudson for the Forage and Flourish's Community Music Project here in Georgia. And so I wrote this piece as really a reminder to myself and hopefully to others, as just like the way this year has gone, I know has created like a lot of anxiety with me and with a lot of people I know, and just living in the uncertainty that we have been living in for so long. This is just a composition that is a reminder that like the time and place we're in is very temporary, and that eventually we will move forward and hopefully in a positive direction. And so this piece is about hope. It's about just remaining calm and just trusting in the fact that where we are is temporary. So thank you so much for taking the time to hear this, and I hope you enjoyed the composition.
If you've had any formal piano training, whether it be with an actual teacher, with a parent, with a friend, The Sun Will Shine Again fits right around that 2A, 2B to early 3 level if you're working out of something like the Faber and Faber series or anything equivalent. So that's going to be what's required if we're going to really engage with this as a single performer on the piano, about a 2A, 2B, or a low 3 level of piano ability. This is also a level that almost all adult pianists who have had any prior experience on the instrument will be able to perform and to learn. Here at the Community Music Project, we are not an introduction to piano video series. However, I do have a couple tips on, as a pianist, or really any musician, we can start engaging with The Sun Will Shine Again. Let's assume for a moment that you are going to be performing this work on the piano by yourself as a solo performer. The first thing to do is we need to sing through this piece. Now, you're probably thinking, well, okay, I'm playing the piano, that's because I don't want to sing. Why would I sing? Well, anytime that we're learning any sort of music on any instrument, being able to vocalize that music before then physically presenting it on any instrument is a really key element. And luckily for you, you've had experience in float and stutter proclamation at using your voice to make something special. So as you begin to work on The Sun Will Shine Again, break the hands apart. Practice just the right hand, practice just the left hand. After you perform a single measure, a single bar, allow yourself to sing that music. You'll notice that in this piece, it's not that difficult to latch on to the musical patterns that Kevin has created. So we can sing them, we can build that comfort, build that familiarity. It's a fantastic way to start. Once you've spent some time playing the hands separately and singing through the music, take a listen to Kevin's performance of this work, which, spoiler, that's coming at the end. Listen to Kevin perform this piece of music and sing along. This way, you've gone through the process of learning the notes, learning the finger positions, learning the shape of the music, and then you've vocalized it yourself. By then listening to someone else's performance, we take any of the physical aspect away from what we're doing, and then the agency simply becomes, let me join into this existing musical process or a recording of a piece. Sing along with it. This is a great way to really confirm that you understand and you have ownership over any musical material, but especially this will be effective in The Sun Will Shine Again. So you've spent some time playing and singing, listening and singing. Let's get our body involved. You're probably thinking, okay, well, I'm at a piano bench, there's not really much room for me to do anything. We can still allow ourselves to breathe physically with the music. As you're playing the hands apart or together, we can allow our body to have gentle motions that sort of imitate the feeling or the sensation that we get while performing the music. Maybe as the notes go up, we go to the right. As they come down, we go to the left. This is up to you, but this sort of kinesthetic engagement can be a fantastic way to further solidify your ownership over this music. And you probably guessed it, after you play the piece and move, listen to the piece and move. Allow yourself to pop it on while you're making some food, while you're cleaning, whatever it is, and let your body move, let your body dance. Feel the rhythms, feel the notes. This is just a really fun way to engage with this music, and it's going to only benefit your performance of this work. If you're worried about finding all the pitches in The Sun Will Shine Again, feel free to write in the notes. One thing about this work is it does not necessarily keep our hands in set positions like you might have been taught when you were very young, and we do have to move across the full range of the keyboard. So get a pencil, feel free to write in these notes. Nothing wrong with that. One really fantastic aspect about this piece is that patterns are really important. And so by writing in the notes for a single measure, that's going to benefit our performance of much more than just that one bar of music. Further on this point, This kind of repetition in a pattern has a name in music. It's called a sequence. A sequence is very simply similar rhythms, similar shapes of notes, but it's happening in a pattern that moves up or down. Imagine sort of like you're walking down a staircase. Every step, you know you're going to get to the bottom, but you're just sort of sequentially going down step by step. In terms of the music, it might sound something like this. Ya-da ba da da, ba da 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 da, ba da. If you're looking at the score for The Sun Will Shine Again, which will be found in the body text of this video as well as in the comment section for any of our social media posts relating to this episode of the Community Music Project, you'll notice that at measure 33 we see a symbol that you might not have seen before. It looks like an 8 with a V and an A and a line. Well, all that this means is to play the music in the right hand that's underneath this line 1 octave up. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, what's an octave? Well, think back to your scale practice. Bum, 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 bum. Those are called octaves because we know that these scales are built up of a pattern of note names that repeats itself, right? Octaves. Now, as you're working on this, if this is confusing to you, you are more than welcome to play this music in the octave written. So disregard this 8VA. However, it's very simple to practice it. Just simply set your hand up 1 octave higher and then play the notes as written, and then voila, you have played the right hand an octave up. For musicians who don't play the piano, or for members of our community who have never had any prior experience on the piano, you can still perform The Sun Will Shine Again, but you will need a friend. If we take a look at measure 9, we notice that from there all the way through the rest of the piece, with the exception of the last bar, there are no more chords. We see chords in the first 8 measures, or we see multiple notes being played at the same time. But starting at measure 9, we don't see that. And because of this, if you have a friend, you can perform The Sun Will Shine Again. Here's how. If you are an instrument that normally plays in the upper range of notes, or you play high, maybe you want to perform the right hand or the top staff of The Sun Will Shine Again. And you can just very simply play those notes because, as you can see, we only have single notes. If you play an instrument that often plays low notes, it's in the low range, then maybe you want to play the left hand or the bottom staff. Now, this can of course be swapped, but that's a good place to start. I will give a very small word of caution. Always be looking at the clefs that we have, because sometimes that bottom staff, which is normally in the bass clef, sometimes it can change up to treble clef, and that does happen in this piece, so just be aware when that occurs. When we get to the last measure of this work, you're probably saying, okay, well, I had these single line ideas, single note ideas, I could perform it up until this last measure, and then we have a chord. Well, that's okay. You get to pick any note you want. If you're playing the lower part, though, I would encourage you to maybe end the work on a C, because that's going to be the tonic of this piece. The Sun Will Shine Again is in the key of C. If you're playing the upper part of The Sun Will Shine Again, you can pick C, D, E, G, any note that's in that full chord, you can decide to perform. So this gives you a great chance to explore sonic possibilities and to make some great moments. I do have to give one word of caution, however. This is a piece that was initially written for solo piano, which is a C instrument, a concert pitch instrument. What this means is that if you were to play this on, I don't know, a B-flat trumpet or an E-flat alto saxophone, and you were playing as a duet with an instrument that is in C, such as a trombone or a flute, it's going to sound a little different, and it's going to sound maybe not quite right. That's because the fundamental pitch of your instrument is different than the fundamental pitch of the piano which this work was written for. But don't fret. If you're playing on a B-flat trumpet, find a B-flat tenor saxophone friend. Or Maybe you want to explore other versions of the trumpet, a C trumpet. You can ask your private teacher to learn more about that. There's always a way that you can make music with someone else. It just might take a little bit more looking if you play one of these special instruments. Maybe you're a vocalist. No problem. If you were interested in trying to pluck away at a couple of these notes, how I was mentioning earlier by playing one measure and then singing it, you already have a head start. But if you're also just a pure vocalist, you can sing along with Kevin's performance. Maybe you have a friend who plays the piano who wants to accompany you, and this can become a vocal solo with accompaniment, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So please check out The Sun Will Shine Again in that way, and it makes a fantastic choir piece as well. 2 parts, really beautiful. Maybe you have a group and you want to perform The Sun Will Shine Again. That's not a problem at all. Multiple people can play each line of music, the upper and the lower part. This also would allow you to perform those chords at the beginning and the ending. Wouldn't that be exciting? And if you do this, maybe you want everybody to play at the same time, or you want to identify those section markers, which are the numbers that are boxed. This is going to be delineating the primary sections of the piece. Maybe every time you see one of those, you swap. One person plays, maybe you add a second person, maybe you add a third person. There's a lot of ways you can do it, but the more the merrier. For more advanced musicians, you'll probably notice that Kevin does not include a lot of musical direction. Which you know what that does? That gives us a lot of room to explore ourselves. Maybe mess with the tempo. Make it faster, make it slower. Maybe you want to add dynamics. Maybe you want to add certain kinds of articulation. This piece really lends itself to experimentation. Allow this to be something that you can use to show what you're about musically. We all want to hear. Maybe you're thinking, well, okay, I was able to sort of get on with the first 3 episodes because I didn't really have to make any music and I'm just not talented at that. Well, first off, you did make some music with those first 3 episodes and it was excellent. But let's say you just want to engage with The Sun Will Shine Again in a non-musical way. That's totally fine. We can draw from Alexander technique or mindfulness practices to make The Sun Will Shine Again a fantastic addition into a daily yoga routine, maybe some meditation. Here's how. As you listen through Kevin's performance of the work, I mentioned that we often have sequences of music. Every time you hear the sequence, allow yourself to inhale and then exhale. Really checking in with the fact that our spine is elongating as we exhale. Think about all the joints of our body that are giving us balance. Allow yourself to move and to build awareness of your physical self when you listen through this piece. Let your body move with the shape of the music. It can be a really fantastic way to set yourself up to have an amazing day or evening or afternoon, really anytime. If you want to include young children, I have a couple possibilities. The first is if you have any prior piano experience, this can be a great chance to educate these young people about how to find notes on a piano. You can have them simply play just the first note of either the upper or the lower part, maybe really low or really high, as you're playing the main piece, and just have them sustain that one pitch, the first note every bar throughout the entire work. It's a really cool way to not only have them be involved in the performance, but also to educate them about the piano. You can also have young children use their breath or their voice to try to imitate the phrases as it goes up and it comes down, or they can just use their breath. This is a fantastic way to let them explore the music and they can feel it inside of their body. It's a really cool way to bring them into the emotional aspect and the physical aspect of music making. Perhaps these young people are artists, visual artists. Let them draw something that reflects the music, or let them write down words that they feel like describe a certain section. Think back to those numbers that were boxed. Maybe play a section and let them write a word that they think defines it. Then you, the performer, can use their words and then reflect that musically in your performance. Maybe you agree with them, maybe you don't, but the dialogue is going to be fantastic. We hope that you enjoyed episode 4 of the Community Music Project, where we introduced Kevin Day's The Sun Will Shine Again, an accessible piano piece that's so much more than just a piano piece. And we want to hear what you've done with it. We want you to record your performances. Tell us about it. You can share it on Facebook at FF Community Music Project, or you can just search for us. You'll find it. And go check out our other episodes. They're all on YouTube. Again, under the Forage and Flourish Community Music Project. If you have any questions about The Sun Will Shine Again or any of the other pieces introduced in our first 3 episodes, let us know on our Facebook page. We want to get back to you. We want to build this community. And if you head over there, maybe you'll find a new way to think about a piece you've already learned, a new way to challenge yourself. So, please be sure to share your performances on our Facebook page and like that page as well to stay up to date with all that's happening here at the Community Music Project. The link to this score will be found in the body text of this video and in the comments on all of our social media posts. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, and we'll see you at the next one.